my cousins died from the bomb in Israel. Israel should stop bombing because look how much they are harming people.
Is the Israeli-Palestine War about land or religion?
It has both dimensions.
It's both. It's land and religion.
It's not about religion. It's a political issue.
The Zionist side sees it as religious reasons, and Palestinians just want freedom and land.
It's definitely about land. If it was about religion, you wouldn't see other Jews also supporting the Palestinian cause.
I don't think it's about the religion. It's very obvious. If you go back to the history, the Jewish people, they came with the ships as a refugee to Palestine, and they were asking just to have a safe place to stay.
A Zionist movement that started in the late 1800s, 1890s by Theodor Herzl has nothing to do with religion, because before that, there were Muslims, Christians, and Jews living in Palestine.
Do you think the Israeli-Palestine war is about land or religion?
First of all, it's not a war, because when you say war, that means there's two countries, both sides, having similar weapons, able to fight with each other. And this is a war on Gaza, a war on Palestine. It's not about a religion. It's about a people that came in, took our land, committing ethnic cleansing, genocide. This is not a religious war.
I want a ceasefire. I think there's been enough revenge. I think enough people have died at this point. I don't want any more war. I don't want any more U.S. money for war. And I'm outraged that that's what we seem to be mostly producing in this country, is war.
When you look at what happened to the Native Americans, you look at what happened to the African Americans here in our country, when you look at what happened to India that was colonized, if you treat people like animals, the human spirit doesn't give up and sit in a cage. It's natural to resist. It's natural to fight back. Those people were called savages. Those people were called terrorists. Those people were called all sorts of names to justify what the oppressor did to the oppressed.
People are occupying a place where people already existed. So it's like Christopher Columbus discovering America when the Native Americans were already there. Palestinians are the Native Americans of a country called Israel.
The West doesn't care about Palestinians.
Personally, I have many friends who are Jewish. They don't agree what's going on in Gaza.
Senator Lindsey Graham claims that Israel is fighting a religious war. What are your thoughts on that?
They'd like it to be a religious war. So they could point to people, say these are fanatics, their religion teaches them to be violent. There's nothing we could do about it. There is no solution. They don't want a solution.
Senator Lindsey Graham claims that Israel is fighting a religious war. What are your thoughts on that?
She's a fucking idiot. So
It displays the actual sentiments that they have, that they want to project it as a religious war, and it is bringing that dimension that they oftentimes do not espouse or publicly state.
Israel is engaged in ethnic cleansing of people without an army.
It is showing that at the end of the day, a lot of them are supporting the state of Israel based actually on religious grounds, contrary to what their PR statements say.
It is a war against Muslims in Palestine without an army. So it is a one-sided war. And clearly we know which side is being oppressed and which side is the oppressor.
That are supported by our tax dollars money. And the world continues to be complicit in aiding the state of Israel.
We need to listen to the Palestinians, and I think we need to stop listening to mainstream news and listen to some alternative news.
What is the appropriate response from the U.S. government regarding the Israeli-Palestine conflict?
Well, when you have someone that's actually a good friend, you see something on your face, they tell you about it. They don't let you walk around with that on your face, right? The appropriate response is to call out Israel. Stop vetoing these UN resolutions that are just humanitarian resolutions. Cut funding, because if we were to support another group that attacked people the way Israel attacked, I think the U.S. would cut that funding immediately. But we send $3 to $4 billion every year, and right now we're sending even more.
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terrorist state. That's the appropriate response.
They did a study that says 50-60% of the American nation, they don't agree what Biden's administration doing in Gaza.
Why?
Because they are thinking they are like a partner in killing these insane people. So
what is the appropriate response from the U.S. government in regards to the Israel-Palestine war?
Is to ultimately do what is in the national interest of the United States of America, which is not to aid in committing atrocities upon a subjugated people. it ultimately harms the interests of the United States. As we see right now, even in the State Department, the reports say there's mutiny. A top figure in the State Department resigned over his opposition to the stance of the U.S. government and the State Department.
And the United States government continues to sponsor the genocide. Has to stop, not with our tax monies and not on our watch. We as Americans must be united and must stand up against oppression of all people.
What's the difference between these two scenarios? If Palestine were to put down all their arms versus if Israel were to put down all their arms?
If the Palestinians put down arms, there'll be genocide. If the Israelis put down arms, without negotiations, you're going to have multiple parties trying to take them out too.
What is the difference between these two scenarios? Israel puts down all their arms versus Palestine puts down all their arms.
When Palestine brings down their arms, it doesn't stop Israel from doing what they're doing. When Israel puts down their arms, Palestine will not have to defend themselves anymore, right? That's really what this is. It's all about self-defense. So I think Israel putting down their arms will go a long way in coming to that peace that we're all looking for.
The wise thing for them to do is to actually look for a path forward to say, how can we actually create just peace? But they're not willing to do this. And just peace means restoring land back to the Palestinians. There is, after all, what's called a peace accord from the early 90s, 30 years ago. And to this day, they've done nothing but confiscate more land in the West Bank and Gaza.
If you had to pick one option, Palestine have their own country or Israel be removed?
Israel needs to be removed because of their genocide and their ethnic cleansing and the atrocities that they commit. Palestinians need their own place, and the Israelis came in, stole their land, and they need to get out.
Israel be gone.
They have to have representation. It's like taxation without representation. What we're experiencing in the United States, where our governors or individuals that were selected into office are pretending to represent the people. People in the United States do not stand for the oppression of Palestinians. It is a minority group that has control over the media. And so I think that we need to wake up and we really need to understand what's happening here.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Oh, is this about eating the pizza and who's eating the pizza while you're negotiating over it?
No, I was just asking if pineapple belongs on pizza.
I don't know how to answer that.
I think it's just a yes or no question.
I don't have an answer to that. It's.
What do you prefer on your pizza?
I will talk about the ceasefire if you want, but I don't know about pineapple and pizza.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, it does not.
Why?
I don't think fruit belongs on pizza.
What do you have to say to all the people who love pineapple on pizza?
They're just wrong.
Is it acceptable to wear socks with sandals?
Yes.
Why?
Sometimes your feet are cold, but you don't want to put shoes on.
Does the toilet paper roll hang under or over?
Over.
What do you have to say to everyone that lets it hang under?
They're a maniac.
Anything else you want to tell the world?
They need to stop genocide in Palestine.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Of course, man.
Why?
Because it's delicious. It's sweet. Savory and sweet, man.
Is it acceptable to wear socks with sandals?
No, absolutely not.
Why?
You just look like an idiot.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
For me, yeah.
Why?
Tastes good, man.